Kicking off the final days of April of 2025. Welcome to Monday, April 28th of 2025. With Aaron Glandon, I'm Dan Ramey. Good to see you, and thank you for watching this edition of Litter Media Live. Coming up here shortly, we'll take a look at news. We'll also share sports with you. A lot of things in there we want to wrap up from the weekend in the professional ranks, thanks to the NFL draft being over the weekend. I mean, it was given 72 hours, and now there's all kinds of, now what do we do?
Right.
I saw a headline in the Columbus Dispatch. The Browns have 5 quarterbacks? What could go wrong?
Nothing.
So we'll throw our hat in the ring on that coming up as well. And a somewhat lengthy this date in history, but it was a very important one that we'll share with you coming up later on. First, we want to start off how the weather is shaping up for the start of your week due to we've got sunshine here and there throughout the day. 74, your expected high on this Monday. Rain late in the day for you tomorrow into Wednesday morning. 77 for a high on Tuesday and 73 on Wednesday. And looks pretty good outdoors right now. In fact, today's one of those days, kind of wish we were doing the show outside.
Yeah, I can hear the birds chirping.
Yes, you could. Part of that's because the garage door is open to the warehouse today.
But they're very happy about it.
And they are happy. And we have had them fly into our studio before as well. So hopefully we'll not have that happen this year.
It'd be kind of fun, though.
I'd rather have the bird than the bees that we have.
I was about to say, it's better than bees.
The day we had the bees in here, it was you almost couldn't talk for fear of inhaling a bee flying by. That would not be good at all.
I think that was before my time.
It was before your time, but it will remain in litter media lore forever.
Yes.
Yes. All right, coming up in a moment to look at news. But first, we want to tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. They are your trusted comfort advisor and have been for nearly 50 years now. If you have an issue with heating, cooling, or plumbing in your business or your home, give Accurate a call. And if you're building a new home or building a new business, they can take care of what you need there too. Find out more when you click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com. Click on
wherever you are. You're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary.
Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Haynes Total Healthcare Center is there for your chiropractic needs, physical therapy needs as well, and nutrition too. If you want to find out more about Haynes, meeting their doctors and people who work for the team, simply click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website. That's littermedia.com, and it takes you right to hayneshealth.com. And while you're on our website, you'll be able to see some of the news stories we're going to be sharing with you today. Not only the stories, but also all of our social media information is up in the right-hand corner. You'll find Spotify links there, Instagram, Facebook, X, Litter Media Radio, and YouTube as well. All right there at LitterMedia.com. Well, we start off with a road report for you due to a water main break on Edgewood Drive in Chillicothe Sunday morning. There's now a boil advisory, which remains in place for the remainder of the 48 hours once pressure was restored. Now, this includes homes on Edgewood from Pliley's Lane to Cortland Drive, including Sharon Road. We call this a little bit of a road report because we have to tell you where this happened. And we don't know what happened to cause that water main break, but they have a tendency to break whenever they want to. Yeah. And that happened on Sunday. Pickaway County Chamber of Commerce has new leadership. CEO and Director Jan Shannon has accepted the position. She's already been on the job. Jan is a familiar face to many people up in Pickaway County. After 21 years working for the Ohio Public Retirement System, she spent nearly a decade working with the Pickaway County Job and Family Services, and then was the executive director of the Pickaway County Community Foundation. She's also on the Pickaway-Ross CTC School Board and is the current president of the Circleville Sunrise Rotary. She also happened to graduate a year behind me at Hayes Valley. We were in the band together, and we've known each other for a long time. You can read more about Jan Shannon on our website at LitterMedia.com.
I went to the Ross County Fairgrounds on Friday morning to talk to Blake Housworth about this year's Ross County Ag Day, where they get 8th graders from a bunch of different schools, bring them together, and teach them a little bit about what it's like to have a career in agriculture.
Come here. What are they hoping to come out with?
Just some information on what agriculture is about and what FFA is about too. There's a pre-existing notion that you got to have this big, massive farm to be in agricultural, but you don't. You could have a greenhouse and be in agriculture in the city. We want to show these kids that they can do it and be involved in agriculture just because they don't have this massive farm.
As always, you can find that full interview on our YouTube channel.
I was on assignment Friday down in Pike County following Western Elementary STEAM teacher Jennifer Buckler for STEAM Day at Western local schools. 100 different vendors were there, giving kids from grades K through 12 a hands-on look into what their careers are all about. And look at this guy. He's making 3D stuff right there, a spark plug light. That's cool.
Whenever I started planning things for what I call STEAM Career Day, people expected it to be all engineers and mechanics, robotics, drones, and there's really science related to almost every career if you really delve into it. And I want the kids to know that that's okay. Like the art that we incorporate, the agriculture that we incorporate, the mathematics that we incorporate. We've been making quilts in our STEAM class, and the patterning and the measuring and the math that we've been doing, some kids find challenging, but yet the artistic part of patterning and shapes and pieces and puzzles, they love. So we can look at it from a lot of different ways, and my goal as a teacher is always whatever keeps the kids engaged and happy and excited about coming to school.
What a day this was to experience. You see a kangaroo. Who could
cool.
say you bring a kangaroo there? And of course the camel too was pretty awesome. And there's Bill the bull snake as well. Western local schools down in Pike County. One of the things about this, Aaron, is they're one of the, that part of Ohio is one of the poor areas. A lot of the kids from Western, if they don't have college aspirations, they really don't leave the county.
Right.
And they spend most of their time in Pike County. So what they're doing is they're giving them job opportunities, piquing their interest on what things are available to them as a career, and learning all the science and everything behind this. I know when Jennifer said, I went ahead and I kind of polled the kids to see what their aspirations were, and they all kind of had blank faces. But when they started seeing this stuff happen, it turned a light bulb on.
Yeah.
And we'll have a full report for you on our YouTube channel later today, in which you'll be able to hear what Brock Brewster, superintendent of the schools, has to say about how this has all come together and is making a big difference amongst the Western kids down in Pike County.
There you go. Chillicothe High School Wind Ensemble rated a superior at the OMEA Southwest State Educated event in Troy, Ohio. Congratulations to the senior class, as they were part of an era that accomplished back-to-back superior ratings in both marching band and large group. So very good accomplishment there for the Chillicothe High School Wind Ensemble.
Some of my favorite moments were in the band of all time, and we got to experience things just like that. Incredible. They hand these, I don't know if they still do this, I think they do, but when I was in high school, you got medallions. Not just a medallion, but also has the actual ribbon that goes to it as well. And you would wear those on your band uniform and everything. And I had some band mates who it looked like one of these European generals, you know, pretty impressive.
But not you?
Well, I had several. I didn't display them as much as some of the other folks did.
Did you put them on your trombone case?
I did not, no. In fact, I still have them. They're hanging out in the back bedroom closet.
Do you still have your trombone?
I do. And up until about 10 years ago, I was playing it rather regularly.
You should bring it in and play it on the show one day.
Perhaps one of these days. Passes will soon go on sale for professional musicians at one of the biggest concerts in the Hocking Hills region, the Columbus Symphony Orchestra, and their annual concert in Ash Cave. It's coming up Sunday, June 15th. General admission passes go on sale this Friday. The Cave offers a natural band show, which allows music to echo and resonate throughout the entire cavern area.
Very cool. Ross County Community Partners conducted a 2-day community outreach event on April 23rd and the 24th to combat substance use disorder and related crimes while providing recovery resources and support to Ross County residents. Event partners included area first responders and law enforcement, Ross County Community Action, Ross County Health District, Recovery Ohio, and the Ohio Department of Public Safety. 417 successful contacts were made over the 2-day event, with 65 kits of naloxone distributed along with 131 fentanyl test strips. 6 individuals were connected to treatment, with an additional 6 being referred to treatment.
And I think you can read more about this on our website.
Yes, littermedia.com.
Fayette County Public Health will host the 2025 Community Mental Health Planning Meeting. That's coming up on Thursday, May 15th. It's a 2-hour process, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Fayette County Public Health on Fayette Street in Washington Courthouse. This event invites community members, mental health advocates, and local organizations to reflect on past initiatives and help shape the future of mental health support in Fayette County. Lunch will be provided for participants who register by May 8th. If you like lunch, you want to make sure you get this taken care of before May 8th. Space is limited and early registration is encouraged.
Put your national park knowledge to the test at Trivia Night, hosted by Friends of Hopewell Culture NHP. They'll meet at Tipplers Wine Club on May 17th at 6:30 p.m. for an evening of fun, friendly competition, and great company.
Always good to share what knowledge you might have when it comes to the national parks.
Now, national park knowledge, I probably don't have a lot, but I love a good general trivia.
Then you need to go out to the national parks and learn more.
I probably do.
Yeah.
I have a cousin who'd be really good at that one.
Aha, I see. You need to check that out. If you've not been to the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park, this is something when I was a kid in elementary school, they made field trips. Well, I was sick that day. I didn't get to go.
I think we went in 4th grade.
Well, yeah, I think it was 4th grade because we were studying Ohio history in the 4th grade and then again in 7th grade. And so I missed the trip to go to Mound City. And when I started working down here, I said, I need to stop and see it. So Missy and I took her brother and sister, who were younger than she, and we went out to Mound City. And that was the first time I was there. And I'm like, how did I miss this? This is so awesome. So a lot of us take this stuff for granted. It's in our backyard. People from around the world are going to be coming to see this. So if you've not seen it before they do, get out and visit. It's open almost every day, year-round, and it's free to stop in. What's it going to cost you, right?
Nothing.
They do have a gift shop, though, and they have noticed, I think, an uptick of, 47% of visitors last year, and they're basing that off of what they learned from the gift shop.
Huh.
Pretty incredible. So we'll learn more about them coming up next Monday because it's the Pineapple Awards of the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. I have the pleasure of emceeing that event again this year, so we'll share more details in the coming days. All right, our road report takes us to Scioto County, State Route 823 maintenance project between US 23 and US 52. This is what they opened not long ago, Veterans Parkway kind of deal. I think they call it the Veterans Highway down in Scioto County. The project is set to begin today. At least one lane will be maintained for the duration of the project, with hoping to have this done by this Friday. They've given May 2nd as the completion date, so we'll see how that goes. All right, that's a look at news. You can find more at littermedia.com. Coming up, a look at sports. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389 is the number to call if you have need for a dumpster. They'll bring one to you. Find out more when you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you to their Facebook page for Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Littermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Littermedia Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance, on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Time for sports now, and we begin with some recognition for some local basketball coaches. And as you see them scroll on our screen here, the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association holding their annual North-South All-Star Game on Friday, where State Coach of the Year honors were also presented. 3 area coaches include Matt Combs of Unioto, along with, he was the Boys Division IV Coach of the Year, Josh Shoemaker of Memphis, the Boys D5 Coach of the Year, Amy Hughes of the state champion Portsmouth Trojans, the Girls D5 Coach of the Year, and legendary Southern Ohio coach Tom Barrick receiving the Larry Wilson Award for Lifetime Achievement in promoting Ohio high school basketball. Congratulations to these people who have certainly helped put basketball Southeast Ohio on the map through the basketball world. All right, SOVC 17A won the Ohio Valley Regional Gold Championship Sunday in volleyball. OVR includes club volleyball teams from Ohio, West Virginia, and Western Pennsylvania. SOVC is the most prolific club volleyball team in the area, having won more than a dozen OVR championships. And you might recognize some of these girls. Most of them are Adina girls, I believe. And there's a coach that's married to Mike Smith.
Yes.
Laura Smith. I think she's more famous than Mike is.
Well, she's famous for broadcasting Litter Media.
She has
Chillicothe
done that,
boys volleyball games.
Yes. She was our first boys volleyball color analyst.
Yes.
She made history. All right, let's take a look at some of the scores from over the weekend on our Litter Media scoreboard. Ross Christian Academy picked up a volleyball victory, defeating Patriot Prep. High school baseball and non-conference, Watterson beat Unioto. I think there's 2 T's in Watterson. Waverly, a winner over Logan Elm. Tays Valley takes Burn Union. Bloom Carroll sweeps a doubleheader with Highland. Liberty Union picked up a win over Eastmore. Johnstown Monroe over Hamilton Township. And in softball, Sheridan beat Logan and Lancaster, blanking Springfield. And you can always find all the scores of the games going on around the area on our website. Our scoreboard available at littermedia.com. Huge softball game in action tonight. Number 1 state-ranked softball teams facing off. Liberty Union, who's 17-1, plays at Bloom Carroll. Lady Lions are number 1 in D5. The Lady Bulldogs in Division 3. This will also be the first sole possession of the Mid-State League Buckeye lead, whoever wins this contest. Also tonight, the Huntington Invitational will be run at the Merle Shoemaker Athletic Complex on Rick Bethel Track for the Huntington Huntsmen. Reds swept the Rockies over the weekend, 8-1 the final yesterday. They're now 2 games above 500 and are just a game and a half behind first place Chicago in the National League Central. They will face the Cardinals tonight at GABP. The Guardians remain in second place behind Detroit in the AL Central after the Red Sox took their weekend series, finishing with a 13-3 win Sunday. They'll be back home in Cleveland tonight to open up a 3-game set with the Twins. Cleveland Cavaliers take a 3-0 lead on the Heat with a 124-87 blasting Saturday. Game 4 is tonight in Miami. They can possibly sweep and get things over with, get a couple of days rest before they take on either the Pacers or the Bucks. Indiana leads that series 3-1, and they'll play their Game 5 tomorrow night. Now, I forgot to send you images. I have images for this. Can I send them to you when we can get this put up in front of everybody?
Yes.
All right, so let me, I'm going to send.
I'll clear out a space
that one
from the
that
Cavaliers slide.
That's good. And they should be on the way here. All right, the NFL draft was held over the weekend. Spent a lot of time with that. Ohio State football had 14 Buckeyes selected in the NFL draft of the weekend, including the 2 MVPs of the national championship game. Will Howard and also Jack Sawyer, selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, that's tough to swallow unless you're a Steelers fan. Pittsburgh, by the way, will be hosting the NFL draft in 2026. Now, the Bengals, they snagged 6 players. Edge rusher Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, linebacker Demetrius Knight from South Carolina, guard Dylan Fairchild from Georgia, and linebacker Barrett Carter from Clemson with tackle Jalen Rivers from Miami, and they took running back Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. The Browns, meanwhile, added Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham, who was a run stopper against the Buckeyes and everybody else that Michigan played. Also, linebacker Carson Schlesinger from UCLA. And I thought to myself, they went defense on the first couple of picks. What's going to happen here? When are they going to take Shedeur Sanders? Because everybody thought he was going to go. Yeah, they're going to wait till the last few moments. Running backs Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, who didn't play very much against Ohio State, and Ohio State's Quinshawn Judkins, who some have already tabbed these two as thunder and lightning because of their pounding, authoritative way of running. It'd be exciting to see that play out. Tight end Harold Fannin from Bowling Green, who led the nation in receptions and yardage for tight ends this year. Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who's 24, and he has thrown, I think, for more yards than anybody in college football, more touchdown passes. He's played for 3 different programs. So that ought to prepare him for going into the Browns.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they always cycle through a lot of position coaches and sometimes head coaches. And then they also took this kid named Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Colorado, who everybody thought was going to be a top 10 pick. It just goes to show you that not everybody's right.
No.
All the experts can't be right, right?
Sitting on our couch, we don't know nothing.
Not at all. Not at all. we'll see how things play out with that. They've got 5 quarterbacks in the room now. One has an Achilles tear that you'll not be able to see at all next year. You've got
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
He's Kenny Pickett.
And there's a reason the Steelers don't have him. Joe Flacco, who is very effective, but he's, again,
a ghost.
He is above the age of the normal quarterback. But you tell me he can't help these kids that they drafted over the weekend. So we'll see how things play out.
That's something I think rookie quarterbacks do a lot better when they take a year under a veteran quarterback. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He spent a year on the bench under Alex Smith, and then he came out and did what he did.
Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He spent how many years behind Brett Favre? And he was an old man by the time he got to be a starter. And he's still playing and may be in Pittsburgh at some point in time.
Yeah.
But I like Will Howard's fit for Pittsburgh. He gives a Ben Roethlisberger-type presence, I think, to that offense. Jack Sawyer, he's just a hard-nosed kid that has that DNA of a Pittsburgh Steeler. I just hate the fact that they'll be playing against the Browns and Bengals 2 times a year. It happens. It happens. All right, coming up in just a moment, we'll take a look at this date in history as we turn the clock back to 1789. All on the way in just a moment.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane. 92 years of serving propane users in southern and central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com.
The spring sales event continues at Hometown Motors Incorporated at 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe. But don't sit on this because it's going to be coming to a close before you know it. Hometown Motors has new riding tractors starting at $1,699.99. New zero-turn mowers starting at $3,399.99. New walk-behind starting at $399.99. New chainsaw starting at $279.99. New blowers starting at $199.99. And new trimmers starting at $229.99. Hurry in to get the best selection. These prices, they're not going to last. In fact, we've got the door open right now, and they're still shuffling them in and out. Hometown Motors, your store for the outdoors. Time for this date in history. The year 1789. 3 weeks into a journey from Tahiti to the West Indies, the HMS Bounty is seized in a mutiny led by Fletcher Christian, the master's mate. Captain William Bligh and 18 of his loyal supporters were set adrift in a small open boat, and the Bounty set course south of Tahiti. By remarkable seamanship, however, Bligh and his men reached the East Indies on June 14th of 1789 after a voyage of about 3,600 miles. Can you imagine? Wouldn't you get on each other's nerves?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard enough riding in a van down to Cincinnati for a ball game. Bligh returned to England and soon sailed again to Tahiti, from where he successfully transported breadfruit trees to the West Indies. In 1808, an American whaling vessel was drawn to the island of, is it Pitcairn? I believe is how it's pronounced.
Pitcairn? I don't know.
By smoke from a cooking fire. The Americans discovered a community of children and women led by John Adams, the sole survivor of the original 9 mutineers.
I never knew John Adams was a mutineer. Is that the same John Adams that I'm thinking of?
No.
Oh, then never mind.
No.
That was going to make him a lot more interesting to me.
Well, think of the years here. And he was president, trying to remember, was it like 17?
Well, he was the second president.
He was second president. So the first
John
president
Quincy
was,
Adams was number 5, wasn't he?
Yeah, and they were related. So yeah, I don't think John Adams was the same guy.
Maybe it was John Quincy Adams.
I don't think it was John Quincy Adams either.
Oh.
So I think it would have stood out. Mike Smith, who did what he could to share this story with us, is probably just screaming at the YouTube channel right now. For many reasons, believe me.
If you want to learn more about history, keep an eye on our YouTube channel at about 4 o'clock today, because we have.
What is the special marker of history today?
It's the library in Chillicothe. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, which was funded by.
Don't ask me that.
Mr. Carnegie.
Yes,
as in
I did know that. Now,
I recall when Dan Jr. was a young student, so he got a library card, and we walked through the library, and we were walking through, and we went upstairs, and as we were going down the steps, I'm like, why is there a picture of Carnegie here? And that was where I learned the story about how Mr. Carnegie started just doling out all of his dollars before he died and making sure that great buildings like the one we have here in Chillicothe was built. But you want to watch and hear what they have to say on their story.
Kevin Coleman knows more about it than Dan does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He can give you every, what do they call it? Every tittle, every I crossing, or you dot the I's, don't you?
Yes.
You cross the T's. He's got all that for you.
He puts the little marker in the Q.
He went to Michigan State to learn all that stuff.
What's the thing in the Q called? A capital Q. What's that?
The tail?
I don't know.
Is that what you're talking about?
Everybody talks about dotting I's and crossing T's. No one ever talks about the Q.
They don't talk about the tilde very much either.
I don't know what that is.
Or the little dots over the Uber. The U. I can't remember what that's called.
Well, those aren't very common.
Have you watched The Floor on Fox?
Mm-mm.
It's the game show in which you go head-to-head challenge in different categories, and they start with like 100 people out on the floor, and then the randomizer will pick the person that comes up, and they're challenged by somebody else. And they went through grammar and punctuation, and I'm sitting there learning stuff just by watching these two individuals go at it, describing what these symbols in our punctuation are. I mean, question mark, exclamation point, you got all that stuff down. But all the other things, it's like, holy crap, I never would have thought of that.
Well, Mike didn't remember what an ampersand was called the other day.
Ah, yes, that's the and symbol.
Yes.
Well, I just wrote it backwards, didn't I? I'm trying to do it for you.
I always just do one of those.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a cross. It's not an ampersand.
Right. But that's how I write my ands.
Okay. Some people actually spell the word.
Some people do.
They do. And it's only 3 letters.
Yeah. When I'm typing, I write it.
Some people actually want the end of the show And I think we'll do that right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching this long, thank you. We appreciate your dedication. Thanks also for listening on Litter Media Radio. We're back at it again tomorrow morning with a special edition of Litter Media Live. Lindsay Sparks will be stopping by to talk more about Kid Palooza, which is coming up this Sunday at the Ross County Service Center. So we'll have details on that tomorrow morning about 10 o'clock here on Litter Media. For Aaron Glandon and Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. We'll see you soon.